What's up, y'all? This is gonna be a reading for how have you affected the person on your mind. So reading number one, you're gonna pick a baby. Reading number one is repped by this baby. Reading number two is repped by this baby. And reading number three is repped by this baby. So tap in, choose your fighter, and let's get into the reading. Oh, also, I wanted to know, so I started adding rain to the background of my readings, and I just want to know if you have a strong feeling about that, feel free to comment down below. Like, do you like the rain in the background, or is it distracting, or yeah, just let me know. What's up, pile one? If you chose this baby, this is your reading. So we're gonna start out with tarot, and we're just gonna see what's the leading energy for how has pile one affected the person on their mind? How have they affected their life, their personality, the way they go about things? This one won't fly out. 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is a really heavy energy. I feel like, and swords are about the brain, they're about the mind, so I feel like you've really challenged this person's perspective of themselves and of like just life in general in a way that's feeling really heavy. Like, I'm getting a sense of like, how did I not see things from that lens before? Like, I feel like they're feeling like, it's almost giving an energy of FOMO. Like, they're like, I missed out on like approaching life this way for so long. And they're still like becoming aware of that perspective, but like, and like integrating it. But they're like, I could have achieved so much more, or just like even been happier if I could have like approached life from the frame of mind that pile one does and the way they've like reflected to me. 7 of Wands. Yeah, with 7 of Wands, I feel like they're figuring out that shit is so much deeper than they initially thought. Like, in regards to not only their connection with you, but also just like the way you are affecting them. It's like they weren't ready for all these energies to start shifting and being reflected in such an intense way. And I feel like it has really caught them off guard, but they're like, I'm getting a feeling of like excitement from it. Keep going. 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like it's like they're unlocking treasure is like the sensation they get from like the new perspectives that you're reflecting to them. And it's like they're like, duh, work smarter, not harder, is what I just heard. They feel like they've been doing the runaround for no reason. And they just like see you as someone who does, like, whether you feel this way or not, they see you as someone who just like achieves so effortlessly and magnetizes things so effortlessly. And they're like, why have I not like been doing it like pile one? Like, why did I not see that? 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, you've really inspired them to start like focusing on the details of their life and how to like, I feel like before they were feeling so overwhelmed by the big picture of everything and always trying to just like, I feel like they were always biting off more than they could chew because they felt so like in the rat race of life and like caught up in the nonstop hustle. And like, I feel like you've brought this energy of calm and just like you do magnetize things in and you do attract things in, as opposed to like running around trying to force it all to happen and like grasping for things. And I feel like you do take your time with the details, and like, yeah, like you just take your time. And that's something that's like been foreign to this person before meeting you. Like they didn't even know they could slow down like that and still achieve. And in fact, like even achieve more than they were achieving when they were just like running around nonstop. And they see how you do. Like I feel like they're just very inspired by the way you nurture your life. And yeah, just take your time. 6 of Swords. I feel like with 6 of Swords, they're feeling it's like they felt like they had sunk this ship in a way. Like I'm getting it in multiple ways. Like one, when it comes to y'all's connection, and also when it comes to their life in general, like they felt like they either they did something or they felt they weren't showing up in a capacity to where they like felt like they had ruined the connection, or even like ruined their life, like, and or just like really like messed things up. And they're realizing like every moment is an opportunity to restart and reset. And they're like, oh, like I'm just getting to like before, I think they were really overthinking every move and like taking it, they were very hard on themselves. But off of seeing the way that you like continuously, like it's not even like you continuously forgive yourself, it's like you don't even take note of like what they would consider to be like a pitfall if it like had come from them. And they see how it kind of just like doesn't even register to you because you just be flowing. And they're like, okay, I can do that too. Like I don't need to let everything feel like it's gonna sink my ship. Like it's still moving, like we're moving with the energies. And I feel like you just have like such a free spirit, and like you've reflected to them that not everything has to be done in perfection. Like that's part of the beauty of it, is like you do things your own way, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but it's like there's always more to to grow from and incorporate as you go further. And like to you it's just like what is it, water under the bridge. It just don't even affect you like the way that shit used to affect them, and they're getting that reflection from you. King of Cups. They're really learning to surrender to their emotions and their vulnerability and find like strength in that. Like I feel like prior to meeting you, they were very, very like their heart chakra was closed. They was like having connections with people, but I feel like this sense of like when they started connecting with you, like the type of conversations y'all would have and the depths y'all would go, they have these sensations of like, I never have conversations with people like this. Like I never go this deep with people. And I feel like the way you own your vulnerability, like you're not only are you not scared to be vulnerable, but you kind of like take pride in your vulnerability and your emotional worlds, and like almost flex it. Like it's almost a flex to be like you see it as a strong attribute of yourself, and they really feel that off of your energy. Like when you show vulnerability, they can feel like that you feel like it's an attractive quality, and then they see it as an attractive quality, and then it inspires them to not feel weird about doing that themselves. They're like, oh, pile 1 is actually attracted to vulnerability and like emotional depths, and like that makes them want to like figure out their emotional world more. Because I feel like before this, they were just like shutting it out, and they didn't even know how they'd be feeling about things. Like they didn't even have like a compass for that, because they were kind of just shutting those aspects of themselves out. And yeah, now they're really learning to like lean into that and find like merit and value in their emotions and their vulnerability. 6 of Cups. With 6 of Cups, I feel like they are also like learning to find balance with their emotions as well. I feel like yeah, with the treasure chest symbolism and like this lock is like on the floor, I feel like they kind of like, once they unlocked their emotions, I think a lot came up that they weren't necessarily like, they didn't even know all of that was there. I feel like you really reflected so much to them all at once. It was almost like a powerful trip for them to like kind of unlock that whole side of them, and then all these emotions poured out that it felt like more, they bit off more than they could chew, and it was like kind of overwhelming. But they're learning moment by moment how to like find the balance with that, and like, cause it's like, I think again, from their perspective of you made it look so easy to just like share your emotions and vulnerability effortlessly. And now like you've unlocked the aspect for them where it's like you showed them that it can be attractive to do that and that you see value in it, so then that made them see value in it. But that's only one step of the equation, because then like you've been exercising your vulnerability and your expressing of emotions for a long time, and that's something that you've like grown comfortable doing. But for them, like, even though they want to do it now, they see why like that would be attractive to you, and also just like they're seeing it from a new perspective of like, that does have value, like it's not something I should be ashamed of, and they're seeing that more as like something they learned to shut down but isn't healthy to do. But yeah, they're like kind of caught off guard now by like pile 1, you reflected so much in me, and now I don't know how to navigate it all. But it does feel like they're finding their balance. It's just taking time, and they're having to kind of slow down with it. Let's go deeper. How is pile 1 affecting the person on their mind, or how have they affected the person on their mind? 10 of Swords. I feel like you really helped them like close out an era of overthinking. Like, I feel like for a long time this person was kind of like a captive of their mind, and maybe they have like a lot of trauma, and or like the way they were raised and all the society, all these things that program our brains and kind of like affect the way that we view ourselves and view life. All these programs that they had like fallen prey to, it's like you kind of shut that era, like you closed that door for them, like you completely rewired the way that they, I feel like they're still in the process of like integrating all of that and finding balance in it and learning to navigate it. But like the huge shift is the fact that they like see that other way of thinking. Like it was an unlock that happened, and I feel like it's really like it's influenced them a lot, and it's put them in a whole new direction in their life. It's definitely like catapulted a big transformation of the mind for them. The Hanged Man. Yeah, this is all about like a massive shift in perception and perspective, like, and it's definitely uncomfortable. Like they're like, yo, I really don't want to be hanging upside down right now, but like also grateful that that shift has happened, but it is like it's taking a lot of effort to like figure out what all to do with it and how all to incorporate it into their life. But I feel like you're serving as a huge like beam of inspiration for them, and they're definitely like looking to you as they go through this and like feel their way through this. And whenever they feel kind of like set off course or they don't know what to do, they're like, well, what's pile one doing? How did they move through this? And kind of like you definitely become a big role model to them. I'm gonna go in with the Priestess of Light Oracle deck, and let's see what else we can get about how pile one has affected or is affecting the person on their mind. How has pile one affected the person on their mind? How has pile one? Sacred gratitude, reverent appreciation, and prayer. Yeah, I feel like they're feeling so much gratitude for like the way you came into their life. I feel like maybe the way you came in was so like random and just it feels like a crazy coincidence to them almost, and they're almost like, what would I have done if pile one hadn't come into my life? Like so much has shifted because of pile one, and like it doesn't even have to. I just got a message because it's going to be different for each of y'all, like what your connection is with this person. But even if this person is no longer in your present everyday life, they still think of you and they still hold so much gratitude for the connection that y'all shared or share. And also just like, yeah, how much you catapulted this brand new version of themselves. And they just like, I just keep being like, what would I have done? Like, where would I be if pile one hadn't come through? Like, they truly appreciate you so much. Earth magic, fearlessness, removing obstacles. I feel like you really have like, when they were such a victim to their brain and their mindsets, like they were holding so much fear, and I don't think they were even conscious of that. I feel like it was more of a subconscious thing that was programmed into them, and it's like they couldn't even see that about themselves until you reflected it to them through your light, like through how you like see things so different. That's how they even saw that they were like leading from a space of fear and self-doubt and like insecurity. And like, yeah, it just felt like it was affecting their life in very subtle ways. But like once they saw you and the way you move and the way you attract and the way you do this and that, they were like, oh my God, like I've really been holding myself back, and just had that, it feels like a big epiphany. And with removing obstacles, I feel like you have taught them, like it's like where before they were seeing things as like obstacle after obstacle, and it was like, why is this happening to me? Like, you know, just kind of like falling into victim mentality, I think used to be their default. But through the way that, like I was saying earlier, it's like they would watch you encounter things that if it happened to them, they would be like floored. They'd be like an obstacle again. And they watch you and you just flow through it. Like you don't even like think much of it. You're just like, oh, okay. And like you see it, you take into account what's going on and move around it or move through it. But it's like you're not so like not upset about it. You're not like, oh, woe is me about it. And so like after they've had that reflection from you, they've learned to view obstacles as opportunities to upgrade and to like flow through in a way that ends up making them feel better about themselves and like strong, and like just honestly the opposite of what they used to experience when coming to obstacles. They have a completely new frame of mind around that. I'm gonna get one more of these, and then I want to go in with, let's do the animal spirit deck. Sensuality, feminine wisdom, and passion. I feel like they are very attracted to your energy, and the way it's affected them is like, first of all, I just got like, I feel like they didn't even know that someone like you could exist, in the way that you're so earnest, you have such strong, you have a very strong sense of self and very strong morals and principles. And I feel like prior to meeting you, they really like questioned if people like you even exist. Like, they had just like met so many people that even if those people had initially appeared to be of an innocent nature, they would then like feel misled by that person, or like, you know, true colors came out that showed that they weren't really like that. And you have been like the first, or potentially the only person they've like really felt like this person through and through is like so pure and innocent, and like I feel like your energy is so attractive to them from that space. Like, it's given them hope that people like you do exist, and that they can be like of your level of good intention and goodwill. And it's just like, because also I feel like before meeting you, when they had this view of like the entire population being like nobody can be that good, they felt like they had to move in lower frequencies to be able to actually get to where they thought they wanted to be, or they felt like they had to do that to be able to kind of like even the playing ground. Like, if they're gonna move weird, then I have to move weird, type of thing. But now that they've like met you and they've felt your energy through and through, they're like, oh, like, look at how pile one, they move with like such good intention, they're always honest, like da 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 da, and they still accomplish so much, and they're such like, they have so much moving in their life, and it's like so much light about them, and it's inspired them to be able to feel secure in embodying that themselves, and not feeling like they're gonna get fucked over for it. And like, yeah. But I feel like I just like got that whole message, but also it's like you've evoked such passion within them, and such like, I don't know, they're very attracted to you, like not just for all your goodwill qualities, but also just like your natural charisma and energy, and the way that you carry yourself, and like the confidence that you embody, like so genuinely. It's like really attractive to them, and it's like they're like, if only I can fully step into that one day. Like, I feel like they kind of they're so grateful that you've like started their path with that, and they're like on their way to like matching you, but they're like still so in awe of you, and kind of like looking up to you in that sense, and like still learning to like fully embody it. Okay, let's go in with the animal spirit deck. What do I want to do with this? Let's get them, you, and a central energy. How has pile one affected this person? How has pile one affected the person on their mind? How has pile one affected the person on their mind? How has pile one affected the person on their mind? Okay, so the central energy is the hummingbird. So I feel like you have really shown this person how to properly recharge, and it's like you've shown them a connection to source. Actually, like, I don't know if either of y'all would word it like this, but it's like the way that you are so tapped in and connected to like this universal life force that like continually, it's like the hummingbird knows where to get its nectar, and it knows how to like continually recharge, and it's like an infinite source. And I feel like before meeting you, this person was like, they felt like they were constantly running on empty, and like having to find energy from like external things, and like it just was never adding up to be enough. And through meeting you and seeing the way that you like have this sustainable, infinite, energetic source, it's like allowed them to tap into that source too, and realize that this source is available to all of us, to every living being. Like, this is something that we can all tap into and channel and nurture. And yeah, I feel like they really cherish this. Like, I just feel like you've transformed their life in so many ways, and like truly opened up. Like, I don't know if they would consider it like a spiritual awakening or like anything, like if they now would like label themselves as spiritual, but regardless, I feel like the concepts and the ways that you've unlocked them, they have opened up a very like spiritual channel. They are showing up as the zebra, which is someone who like, they do have such a bright light about them, and they do have such like magical, charismatic essence to them. They're very like charming, and like I feel like they like, there's a reason why they attracted you into their life, because like they are that at their core. They already were like such a magical being, but it's like because of all the trauma and programs and all the ways that had kind of like knocked them down over and over into this space of feeling like insecure and like self-doubt and just like not tapped into themselves. But it's like at their core, they always had that, and I feel like that's how they attracted you in, is like their soul like already knew what they could be and what they were really about. And it's like they almost attracted you in as like a spiritual mentor of sorts, or like just a role model in general. But they already had like a very magnetic quality to them. And yeah, I feel like they do like to connect with people and are like a pretty social energy, and I feel like they're able to enjoy that aspect of themselves so much more now, and like be able to properly replenish themselves like after interacting with a bunch of different energies. You're showing up as the buffalo, which really reminds me of what was coming up around the earth magic, fearlessness, removing obstacles card. Like you're so good at embodying this like the buffalo energy is very spiritual yet very grounded, and it has like a really great balance of the two, and it expects the obstacles. It's learned to just like expect the conflicts and obstacles to come into its path, and instead of fearing it, it's learned to just like greet the obstacles as a means of upgrading and like evolving and moving to the next level. So it's actually grateful for obstacles that come into its path. And I feel like that's how you've really transformed this person's perspective around conflict and obstacles. And yeah, it's that same energy I was describing, where it's like they were kind of so off guard to like watch you encounter obstacles, and how you just like, oh yeah, like you already expected it, you already knew it was gonna happen, so it didn't like knock you off your vibe, like, and just, that was so like crazy to them to witness, and like inspiring. But they were just like, how did they know that was gonna happen? Like, you know, it kind of gives that energy where you're like, yeah, duh, it's life, like shit's gonna come up and I'm gonna make the most of it. I already, like, I'm actually glad this shit came up, you know. And that's just like a perspective this other person had never taken prior to meeting you. Okay, now I want to go in with the Whispers of Love Oracle deck. And yeah, I'm gonna get some of this, and then we'll conclude it with the Ancestors Oracle deck. What messages do we have for pile 1 regarding how they've affected this person on their mind? How has pile 1 affected the person on their mind? How has pile 1 affected the person on their mind? Demonstrate love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. Yeah, I really just feel like you've been the perfect, like, you've really demonstrated to them just by being yourself and like proceeding through life authentically with their eyes on you, of just like what it really looks like and feels like to love and to embody love. And that's been like so hugely illuminating to this person. Like, you've really taught them just from demonstration, and I feel like that was the perfect mode for them to learn this, because I feel like this individual, like, maybe they are like in the past have fallen or are like somewhat of a stubborn personality, and like can get kind of like rebellious by nature to like someone telling them what to do, which is maybe like how they've received messages in the past, or like teachings in the past, and it's made them like go against that or like not really listen to it. But you never forced nothing upon them. Like, you never told them what to do or how to move through, or like, this is how you move through life. Like, no, you just like showed up as you and did your thing, and like you didn't even always know like when they were watching and taking note and observing you, but you were just like being you as you always have been. And through that demonstration, like it's upgraded them so much and transformed their perspective on things in such a healing way, so significantly. All right, I'm gonna get a concluding oracle card from the, what's it called, messages from the ancestors. What do the ancestors got to say? What final concluding message do we have about pile 1 and how they've affected the person on their mind? What is our concluding message for how pile 1 has affected the person on their mind? We got explorer, adventure, and warrior, boundaries. I feel like you just like opened this person up to like actual expansion and like trying new things in a way that's like very courageous and fearless. Like, I feel like before they were in such a box and like a limited mindset about what they could truly do. And especially with the way that like you've like opened them up to like a new source of recharging and like getting that energy. I feel like they just feel so energized in a new way where they're actually curious about life, and like because you've unlocked so much for them, it's also just shown them that like there is always more to unlock and there is always more to experience. And like I just feel like before meeting you, they had kind of got stuck in a rut and just thinking that life was all one thing and like that was all they could do with it. And now it's just like a whole new world has opened up for them, and they're like, there's so many directions this shit could go in, and there's so many different like things I could interact with. And yeah, I just feel like you've really like unleashed this person's inner child and like really reflected that and like given them so much like more to work with and more energy to work like to discover it all. And yeah, that's mad beautiful. All right, that's what I got for you, pile number 1. If you want, like, comment, subscribe. Also, I'm very curious if y'all like the rain sounds in the background. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have a specific question or theme that you want to see a pick a card reading about, feel free to comment that down below. All right, peace out, y'all. What's up, pile number 2? If you picked this baby, this is your reading. We're gonna start out with tarot and see what's the leading energies of what has pile 2, or how has pile 2 affected the person on their mind. How has pile 2 affected the person on their mind? How have they influenced the way they see life, see the connection maybe, see themselves, whatever wants to come up? How has pile 2 affected the person on their mind? We have justice, judgment, 9 of Wands, and strength. I feel like, I mean, there's a lot of energy of like finding more of a balance in life, and with the 9 of Wands, I feel like you've embodied such an attractive energy to them of like, I have all that I need, like just within me and like through what I already have, that I don't need nothing else. I'm not like gonna go out of my way to force something to happen. I don't need to, because I already have what I need. And they've seen how that like you're able to just attract from that space, and how you do always seem to have like so much moving and so much goodness and like gratitude for it all. And I feel like you've really like allowed them to find more of a space of balance in what they're capable of embodying themselves to that respect. Like with the strength card, I feel like this person has been through a lot. I feel like they do have maybe a pretty traumatic upbringing or past, and they have like, I feel like through what you've reflected to them, they've found such a new sense of gratitude for all that they've experienced, and how it's like they're seeing now how like it has like really made them the person that they are today. And it's like I feel like they already knew that deep down, or like in certain moments, but they still were holding a kind of like victim mentality around it. And I feel like you really you've demonstrated to them how to keep that in a frame of balance, where it's like you still acknowledge the trauma that has like affected you and perhaps like held you back in certain ways, and still like allowing that story to be present and true, but like programming that for your benefit. And I feel like in the way that you embody that energy of like, I have all that I need, it's like, I think this person has seen you in spaces where to some people it wouldn't look like, it wouldn't be all that they want and need, but they've seen the way that you like still hold gratitude through all of that. And I feel like they're very inspired by that, and it's really helping them reframe their trauma for themselves. Let's keep going deeper. For some of y'all, I also feel like this person has like experienced like a significant loss in their life, like someone really close to them has passed away, and I feel like you were there. This is a specific message, so it may not resonate to everyone, but I feel like you were there for them through that experience. And I feel like either they were aware during it, or they've recently become aware, like that could have been such a different experience for me had pile 2 not been there with me through that, and they feel so much gratitude for it. And I feel like you also have like, I don't know, I'm getting a specific message on like your views of death, and like from a more like spiritual based perspective versus from a very like programmed human fear based perspective. And I feel like, again, this is very specific, but I feel like some of y'all have like reflected that to this person, and it's like helped them tremendously in being able to like grieve in a whole different way. For some of y'all, it may not have been like a actual person in their life that you like helped them grieve or like supported them through that. For some of y'all it was, but for some of y'all it may have been more of like an ego death, or like a death of a certain chapter in their life and a certain version of themselves. Queen of Wands. They see you as such a like, you have so much charisma and like such a vibrant energy to you. Like I feel like in their eyes you're like never tired. You just like have like so much energy to like move through life, and you do it in such an attractive way. And they're very inspired by like your passion and your like connection to self-purpose. And I feel like that reflection has really like helped them to tap into that energy as well. And really like, I feel like for some of y'all, even like prior to meeting you, they were very like, maybe not like either literally or metaphorically, they had a 9-to-5, whereas like they really were like kind of obeying the rules of society and like feeling like there was like a certain like ladder they had to climb. And like through seeing the way that you just unapologetically embody yourself, like your life purpose, your life mission, with such a sense of like passion and devotion, and it's like the way you do it is like you're like, there's nothing else I could do. Like you're like, there's no other like way I would live. And that's just that. It's not something that you like second guess or overthink or question. It's just like, that's just how you live. And it's like so inspiring to this person, and it's definitely like it's affected the way that they move through their life and the way that they prioritize. And I feel like for some of y'all, you've even helped like reflect to them what their like soul passion and mission and purpose truly is. 7 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like prior to meeting you, life felt like a deep dark forest to them, and it was just like, I think this person used to hold a lot of fear and a lot of like fear of the unknown. And like, yeah, I'm just getting that this person has like, they are like, it's not that they're a pussy, it's that they've been through it, bro. Like, I feel like this person has had a lot of trauma stacked up in their life and a lot of loss. Like, I keep getting these feelings of like overwhelming grief and not knowing like how to move through that. And you just like opened up this like whole breath of fresh air for them and a whole new perspective and way of like viewing things and like moving through it. And like, it didn't take away the difficulty of it all, but it just reframed things in such a powerful way that like, I don't think they hold the level of fear they held prior to meeting you. Like, they're not so scared of what's in the dark anymore, and they're learning to like trust that they will find their way through, and like that to overthink and over predict and all these like over analyzing tendencies they used to have, like they see through like the way that you don't do that and you still like flow through. They're like, oh, I think like they're realizing that that way of moving and thinking was only holding them back and like exasperating their fear, where it didn't need to be that, it didn't need to be that intense. It didn't need to hold them back to the level that it was. Oh shit, flew out. Sorry, my nails, I literally can't pick this shit up. 8 of Swords. Yeah, they were in like a really like, they were in a cage of the mind before they met you, and it was like feeling like they couldn't move. Like, I think this person like literally felt like a sense of like mental paralysis in their past, where they were just like so overwhelmed by like someone who's been through such significant trauma as I'm picking up on. It's like their brain completely rewires, and the brain is trying to do that to protect them and to prevent them from encountering that trauma again. But I get that it just like completely caged them and like made them scared to move, like, and they were just like stuck. I'm getting a really intense feeling. I feel like for some of y'all, I don't even think you're aware of how much, because obviously you didn't know this person before you met them, and like maybe as you met them you got a sense of like this energy about them. But I think in their like past they had some really deep fears and limiting beliefs and just like trauma response. Like they had a lot that they were really held back by, and I feel like I'm getting like emotional, like they didn't see how they were gonna make their way through. And I feel like some of y'all don't even know the way you've really opened this person up and allowed them to see life from a really refreshing, like new perspective and way, and like really helped them unlock the way their brain perceives their path forward. I feel like I can't even articulate like the depth of what I'm feeling. Like for some of y'all, this person may have even been like suicidal at some point, or just like really deep in depression and like anxiety. The Lovers. This is like, you have been such a beautiful reflection for this person, and it's like they are like astonished by how well y'all's energies resonate together, and it truly feels like I feel like you really feel like a saving grace to this person, and like, not to say, like, it's not that they view you as like, it's like they view it as something that was meant to come into their life and reflect these new possibilities and versions of themselves to them. And it's not that they like, I don't even think they put you too high on a pedestal and like glorify you in an imbalanced way. I feel like this is a very aware person, but like, it has made them believe in like, I don't know if they would call it God or like angels, like, but they're like, I believe that we are meant to meet certain people at just the right time. Like, I feel like you came into this person's life at just the right time, and it feels like I'm like flabbergasted right now. It's like very like shocking to them, and it felt like a miracle when you showed up at the time that you showed up. And yeah, I think they just really they see the value in this connection, and like, look at this key floating above the lock. Like, it's like you really were the key to unlocking something. And I think like I am getting a very like grounded energy where it's like they attribute this to like universe, not necessarily to you. Like, you were the messenger, you were the divine messenger. But I feel like I'm trying to articulate what I'm feeling because it's kind of specific. Like, it's like, for a lot of you, I feel like you don't even know how much you've unlocked for this person, because they didn't feel the need to like put you on a pedestal and like bow down to you for it. Like, it's not that energy. It's like they're quietly just like astounded by the timing that you came in and what you reflected and unlocked, and they're very grateful to you for it. But they're also just like, wow, like, God is real. Like, again, I don't know if it would be those words, but like, and see the way the like masculine is like looking up at this floating key, and like the feminine is, she's looking at the lock. Like, I feel like you're not even, you're just not even like aware of how much you've unlocked for this person, but they are so aware and so like grateful. All right, I want to go in with, let's do the animal spirit deck. I want to get them, you, and essential energy. What can we reflect to pile number 2 about how they've affected this person on their mind? How has pile 2 affected the person on their minds? How has pile 2 affected the person on their minds? How has pile 2 affected the person on their minds? Of course, wait. I have to start with you because it's so dead on. You showed out as the Cobra, which is like literally the teacher, like the mentor, and it's like, I feel like you just like seriously reflected such like powerful lessons and teachings to this person in a way that's like resonated with them so deep. Like, you've really been like the word of God for them. Like, not to like gas you too much, but it's just like, I truly think they view you as like a spiritual mentor of sorts. And like, this card also speaks about, like, you don't even, like, you don't present yourself as a mentor or a teacher. Like, you're not like, I know everything, I'm gonna show it to you. Like, this is a very humble, like, teacher, and someone who is, like, always, like, also being student. And I do think this other person has taught you so much too, and you're always, like, grateful to learn from them as well. But it's just like you undeniably taught them so much and led so much by example, and just really, like, yeah, I just feel like this is so accurate. The central energy is the mouse, which is like, this is an energy of, like, really nitpicking and, like, being too, it's like what I was describing before, that I feel like this person fell prey to from, like, the way their brain, like, rewired them from so much trauma and grief. I feel like they fell into this energy of, like, over analyzing, and it's like they were looking so hard at the details of everything in a way that wasn't serving them, and it's like they couldn't step back and see the big picture. Like, they just didn't even have, it's like if it was like a camera, they only had the close-up lens. Like, they were only, like, so focused, and they didn't even have the wide lens, like, available to them. They didn't have that in their toolkit at all, and you pulled up with it and they were like, whoa, like, I can see the bird's eye view now. Like, I can see, like, and I feel like that allowed so much breathing room and space and light and hope for them that they just, like, did not have available to them at all. They did not have that perspective. They did not have that frame of mind. And, like, you being able to offer that to them was everything. Like, such a massive, like, reframe for their life. They are showing up as the bear, which is, like, this energy. They've been in hibernation, which in this situation I feel like has been, like, this very traumatized version of themselves, and a very, like, victim mentality way of living. And now, like, they're waking up from hibernation. They've been forced out of hibernation, and it is difficult to move out of that space. I feel like that space has become their comfort zone. Like, even though it was so uncomfortable and, like, painful to live in that space, it's like that's what they knew. That's what became their, it's like how people who grew up in very toxic households with lots of fighting and aggressive energy, like, that's how they know to interact with people. And, like, the first time that those people experience, like, a soft love, or, like, people who don't yell, or, like, you know, it feels uncomfortable, and, like, they want to move away from it at first, because it's just like that's not what they've grown accustomed to. It's like you find, even in the trauma, you find comfort in it. And so that's, like, what this person is experiencing. I feel like they are, like, the new perspective and, like, lifestyle and version of themselves that you've unlocked and reflected to them. It does feel so good, and it does feel like such a breath of fresh air, but simultaneously it feels very, like, scary to trust, and, like, difficult to fully, like, go into. So I just got a message, like, if you are presently in connection with this person, like, really have patience with them as they, like, go into this new version of themselves, because they are moving into that, but it's still gonna come with these, like, moments of back and forth and, like, regression, because, like, it's a completely new version of them that they are learning to embody and move into. And yeah, I'm just getting with this a lot of discomfort in that process, but ultimately they know it is the direction they want to move in, and the direction that they literally need to move into, like, in order to get out of this dark space that they were in prior to this. And, like, it feels like a need to do this for survival, but it's still like, it's still difficult and uncomfortable. I want to go in with the Whispers of Love Oracle deck. Let's see what we got. What messages do we have for pile 2 regarding how they've affected this person on their mind? How has pile 2 affected the person on their mind? How has pile 2 affected the person on their mind? Express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. I feel like I'm getting 2 different things from this. One, I feel like this person feels like what you've offered them is such a gift, like, and it feels like such a new breed of love to them that they just like, I think they're starting to be like, have I ever actually received love like this? Like it just feels like a brand new version of a gift that they've ever received. Like it's a brand new breed of love. You truly offer a very unconditional love to them that it's like, it almost gives a sense of like family and friendship, like even and especially if this is a romantic connection, which I think it is. It's like, it's just like such a gift to them in more ways than you realize. And then I'm also getting that I feel like this person feels like they want to give back to you, like they have such a urge to reciprocate, and I think they're still like feeling out how they can do that in a way that will actually like feel, because they're not just doing it for you, like it's like they're feeling a call towards equal exchange with this, and it's like they are recognizing how much you've gifted them through just being yourself. And like, I'm sure you would say the same of them, like they've gifted me so much by being them, but they feel like they want to repay you in some way, and they want to offer something to you to be able to like, even if they're not like specifically addressing to you what you've done for them, like they just, yeah, they're feeling a big impulse to give you something. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go in with the concluding, let's do the messages from the Ancestors Oracle deck and get a concluding message. What is our concluding message for pile number 2 regarding how they've affected the person on their minds? What is our final concluding message for pile number 2? What is our concluding message for pile number 2 and how they've affected the person on the minds? Air, breath, didn't I say, like, you've just been such a breath of fresh air for them. I feel like this person feels like they can actually breathe now. Like, I genuinely feel like they were so weighed down by their trauma and just didn't know what to do with it. And it's like, through what you've reflected to them and unlocked for them, they've been able to set that shit down and actually just breathe for a minute. And it's like, life still goes on, there's still pain, there's still difficulty, but they're like, at least I can fucking breathe now. Ugh. I feel it really deep. Like, I think, like, I don't think you could possibly even know what you've gifted this person. Like, they're, like, able to breathe. Can you imagine they couldn't breathe before you? I just got, tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. But yeah, like, you really, man, you've helped them, like, so much in being able to just move through this. It's like, they're still healing, they're still processing, they're still, like, it's still all there. But they have the tools now, they have the perspectives now to breathe and move through it and keep going. And, like, it's so much light in their life. There's so much hope on the other side of it all for them now. Okay, that's what I got for you, pile number 2. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Also, please let me know in the comments down below, do you like the rain sounds in the background, or is it distracting, or like, what are the vibes? And then also, if you have a specific question or theme that you want to see a pick a card reading about, please comment that down below. Alright, peace out, y'all. What's up, pile number 3? If you chose this baby, this is your reading. For y'all, I want to start with the Priestess of Light Oracle deck. And let's get a guiding energy. How has pile number 3 affected this person on their minds? How has pile number 3 influenced the way this person on their mind moves through life and sees life, sees themselves? Whatever wants to come up. I think all 3 of these. We have sacred breath and sound, life force, communication, innovation, new creations, and hostilities, conflict, and unrest. I feel like you've literally, like, with life force and communication, I feel like, I don't know if they would describe it this way or put it in these terms, but I feel like prior to meeting you, they didn't have any, like, or had a very limited connection to source and, like, trust in, like, a more spiritual connection or understanding of life. And I feel like you really opened that up for them, like, in a way where they now communicate. Again, I don't know if they would say it like this, but they now communicate with their highest version of themselves, and they, like, embody that and have that open, like, communication. And whether they would articulate it that way, they can feel that. And I think they can attribute that to what you've reflected to them. And, like, even just from witnessing the way you move through life and, like, have that connection, it's like the way that you do things and make your decisions is, like, naturally from a spiritual connection and trust of, like, source has got me and we're working in collaboration and we're always communicating. And, like, via seeing you move that way, it's allowed them to tap into that, like, ability to communicate with source and angels and their higher self. Like, again, whether they would call it that or not, that's what they're doing and what they've learned to do from knowing you. With hostilities, conflicts, and unrest, I feel like with this, like, ferocious looking jaguar down here, it's like there's been things that have come into this person's life that have, like, and maybe even, I'm getting, like, even y'all's connection when it came into their life and paired with the other things that were happening in their life at that time, it was like so much relentless energy that was just transforming them, like in a way that was almost like traumatic. I'm getting like it was all very jarring and just relentless, and they were like, it was for their evolution and upgrade, and like they found their way through it. They found the strength to really like meet it, but I feel like it felt like very uncomfortable, very jarring, and very much like, yeah, unrest and kind of like a sense of conflict. I feel like it sparked a lot of internal conflict within them as they were like because all these transformations, as well as like the transformation that took place as like I'm getting like when they met you and that connection initiated, it was like part of a catalyst for a major transformation that was like thrust upon them. And it's like it started this whole internal battle and internal conflict of like shedding the past version of themselves and like stepping into the new version of themselves. And as much as it felt kind of like unfair and like it just seemed like a very like aggressive, sorry, I have to sneeze. No, I don't. Wait. I think I got it. I'm moving past it. It like, I wonder if that's a message. I feel like it was almost this feeling. I think they almost, it's crazy I got this off of almost sneezing. They almost self-sabotaged this connection in the beginning, is what I'm getting, because it did feel so jarring to them. And it was like, it's like part of them didn't want to look in the mirror. They didn't want to receive those reflections because it was mad uncomfortable and like really challenging. And it's like part of them just wanted to turn away from that and go back to the way shit was, which was like more painful, but it had become their comfort zone. And it's like they really like had to challenge themselves to lean into this from a space of like intuition and just inner knowing that it was like what was going to up-level them and reach them into this more like divine, accepting and trusting version of themselves. But yeah, I don't think that was easy to surrender to at all. And then with innovation, new creations, I feel like you quite literally like opened up this new version of themselves, and with that it's opened up new like life purpose, life mission type of energies for them. And maybe it's even propelled them into a new career path or something as significant as that. Like it does feel very very intense and like powerful, and completely unlocked a new era for them by meeting you. All right, let's go in with some tarot and get more messages. What can we reflect to pile number 3 regarding how they've affected this person on their mind? How has pile number 3 affected the person on their mind? Knight of Wands, 9 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and 3 of Wands. Wow, this is a lot. Let me look at this. Because this person, I love that 2 of Cups is the centerpiece of it all. Like, this definitely is such a divine connection and like has reflected so much to them and really allowed them to experience self-love is what I'm getting. Like they see so much of themselves in your reflection, but it's like prior to meeting you they never would have seen those attributes of themselves, if that makes sense. Like they already had all these like strengths and bright like aspects of them, but they didn't recognize those aspects of them. They weren't like feeling gratitude for those aspects of themselves until they like felt it reflected through you and saw like in front of them visually how beautiful it is that a person can embody those aspects. And it's like it allowed them to have so much self-love. And it's also like I'm getting, they immediately felt so much admiration for you and your spirit and like the way that you move through life. And the fact that you felt love and compassion and admiration back to them, it's like it really unlocked a new perspective of themselves to themselves, because they were like, someone this magnificent loves me, like I must have some magnificence about me too. You feel me? Like it really sparked a new like appreciation for themselves. And I think they really feel like I love the way you see how this skeleton, like their water is pouring into this skeleton. Like I feel like y'all just like pour into each other, and it's like, and they really want to pour into you. It's just like they feel so much gratitude and like, yeah, admiration and love for you. Let's start with the Knight of Swords. I'm at Knight of Wands. It's like kind of going back to this initial card of innovation and new creations. Like you've sparked this new sense of passion and purpose within them. And I feel like it is very connected to creativity, and you also like have sparked a new version of sensuality in them in a way that's like way more connected to a sense of purpose. Like I feel like honestly prior to meeting you, a lot of the connections that they had, it was like they felt sexual energy for sure, but like they never felt that sexual, this is so specific, they never felt that sexual energy so connected to the love, if that makes sense. Like, and not that they didn't love people before you, but it felt like almost a separate like sensation. This is difficult to describe, but I feel like those that is for, like, you'll get me. Like, it's like with you, their sensual, sexual energy is so connected to their love and admiration for you that's also like in an innocent, pure way, but it's, you feel me? But also just like sparking new versions of like what they feel called to and like what they want to accomplish in this life. That's like maybe before they were more motivated by money and like material surface level things, and now they see like where the fruit is at. Like they see the fulfillment that comes from life purpose and life mission, and the way that you've been able to tap into that has really inspired the way that they now move and like prioritize. With the Six of Swords, it feels like with this, I'm getting that they've seen you go through things, or maybe you've shared with them traumas of your past or just difficulties of your past that you've dealt with, and it's really inspiring to them the way that you still like, you float through life. You don't just like make your way through. You're like, you've got, it's like, I've got all I need and then some. And the way that you like are able to flow, and these like hardships that you've been through have not sunk your ship, is really inspiring to them. And it's allowed them to kind of like move without, I think before meeting you, they were very present with the traumas they had experienced and the hardships that they had experienced, and almost like identified with that, and like it was part of their story, but like in a very forefront type of way. And after meeting you and seeing the way that you release traumas, and still like it's still obviously a part of you and your story, but you're not weighed down by them. I feel like the way that they've seen you move through that energy has really inspired them and made them feel very like they have a much lighter load now, and they're able to almost even use their past traumas and hardships to their advantage, where in the past they almost saw it as like something they were lacking, or something that was like, yeah, just weighing them down. With the 10 of Wands, we have a lot of Wands energy here. We have Knight of Wands, 10 of Wands, and 3 of Wands. So it's just like, first of all, y'all's connection is so based in like passion and this like fiery creative energy. I feel like you've really shown them how to like really enjoy and celebrate your way through life, and you have such a strong spirit, and I think this person does too, but they've been able to really like embody their spirit in a much more confident and like fully embodied way, because they've experienced you do that, and you've just like uplifted their spirit so much, and their self-confidence. Like, again, what I was getting off the 2 of Cups is, it's like they're like, if someone this magnificent loves me, I am magnificent too. And they were like so ready to like step and jump into that, because I feel like they already had that kind of perspective of themselves deep down, but maybe from external people and like situations, they had too many moments of feeling like, am I as like special as I feel I am, like, and just feeling like misunderstood, and like other people didn't see them like that, and like having it kind of like put a damp towel on their fire, like, so to speak. And I feel like you just saw that version of themselves immediately and just effortlessly, and I feel like it just has really allowed them to step into a much fuller version of themselves and take up more space and embody their passion much more and much deeper. And with the 3 of Wands, yeah, it's like this connection with you has truly ushered in a brand new version of themselves. And it's like, I think it's to the extent where they even had to or are still grieving a past version of themselves. Like, it very much was like before and after, and it's like, it's truly a new version, and they're really grateful, but it is still difficult at times to like, I think they did grow a certain comfort in being like a lower frequency. Like, it felt safer in some ways to not embody their full light. And I think sometimes they're still having trouble fully shedding that comfort zone associated with that. But ultimately, they feel so much lighter and brighter and better in this new version of themselves that they're stepping into, and that was unlocked by you and by y'all's connection. Okay, I want to go in with the Animal Spirit deck, and let's get them, you, and Essential Energy. What can we reflect to pile number 3 regarding how they've affected this person on their mind? My voice is starting to give out a little bit. Let me hit my water. Also, the sun is doing something crazy now, but I feel like y'all are like, it's such a golden energy. Like, it does feel like with the wands, which is like fire and like sun and like bright, like passionate energy, like And that's how I feel like the sun is reflecting for your reading. Like, it didn't look like this in the verse 2. Y'all see that shine? Y'all's is shining. Y'all are shining on each other, and it's just like, it's reflecting the brightest versions of yourselves to each other. What can we tell pile 3 about how they've affected the person on their mind? How has pile number 3 affected the person on their mind? How has pile number 3 affected the person on their mind? How has pile number 3 affected the person on their mind? That makes so much sense, bro. Okay. You must be such a joyous, positive, bright light, because like everything about this is bright. It's all bright lights. But the otter is like, this is the most playful, joyous energy of the animal spirit deck, literally. And I feel like you just bring such a new, like, it's almost, I just got comedic relief. You've like brought so much relief to this person through your ability to just like find humor and joy in life and just like float through it, move through it. Like, I think they're just like so kind of like in awe of the way you just like approach everything with a sense of positivity. And it's not like a false sense of positivity. It's like something that you literally, that's just like how your spirit is based. And I feel like it's been so influential to this person to like see that you can, that one can even approach things that way. And just like, I feel like when y'all are together, or even if this is someone from your past that y'all are no longer in each other's lives, like they still have unlocked that sense of joy and like humor, and just like they just have learned to truly like go into lightness with life from the way that, like, from seeing and interacting with the way that you approach life and move through things. And I feel like, yeah, it's such a special energy, and I feel like there is such a base of friendship at the base of y'all's connection. And yeah, it's just unlocked a lot of joy and positivity for them. They are showing up as the bat, which is all about rebirth, like so spot on. Like, I feel like prior to meeting you, they were prey to all those kind of like lower frequency thought patterns and versions of themselves that were staying, it was holding them back, and they've been forced to release that past version of themselves to step into a brand new version. And this unlock was definitely catalyzed by y'all's connection and by meeting you. And it's just allowed them to completely revamp themselves. Like, it's a new era, and it was like, I think it has been challenging for them to fully release. Like I was saying earlier, they did find some comfort and like sense of safety in just staying in the smaller version of themselves, but you forced this transformation like just by being yourself. And yeah, it's completely changed the way they look at themselves and the way that they present themselves to the world and show up. And you're showing out as the swan, which is such a very like ethereal energy, and a person who is like, I feel like you're constantly in spaces of self-reflection. And this card also talks about creative ways of doing that through like journaling or writing songs or poetry. So maybe that resonates for you, but just in general, I feel like you're always reflecting and like also just like intuitively feeling through the small shifts you want to make in a way that's very like, you don't overanalyze, you don't over intellectualize, you just flow, but it's with a space of gentle like self-compassionate reflection. And I feel like this is something that this person has learned to do from watching you do it, or seeing the way that you're constantly evolving and shifting more into your truest version of yourself. And maybe you've even put this person on to like journaling or like therapy, or just different ways to find those spaces of self-reflection, but still in a way that's compassionate to yourself, and ultimately gentle and loving, and for the genuine desire to become the truest version of yourself. And yeah, that's something they really admire that you're always doing. And I feel like also like when situations come up in the connection, like any sort of friction or tension, where I feel like in the past they had been in connections where people were very defensive to those moments and kind of like putting it all on them, like the other person. Whereas with you, I feel like you actually take the time to, and like don't have your guard so up that you're able to really like sit with the moment and feel through the energy and see how you play a part in that moment, if that makes sense. And like I think that's really allowed y'all to flow through conflicts and tensions in a way that this person has never experienced before. And they're very like, they're so relieved to find out that two people can approach things that way. And it's like, yeah, it feels really healing to them. All right, let's go in with the Whispers of Love Oracle deck. What messages do we have for pile number 3 regarding how they've affected the person on their mind? How has pile 3 affected the person on their mind? Be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. And also consider your foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. I feel like these are things that you really brought to the table and that they feel so much gratitude for. Like, I think in the past, like, I don't think they've ever experienced a connection like the one that y'all either had or have. Like, you've always been so present and like genuinely there for this person, and it's in a way that's like you didn't even need to do much, but just your actual presence has been so healing for them and such a support system. And in a way where like I feel like you have a very just like naturally nurturing and compassionate energy, where it's like you're not how do I describe this? Like, I feel like in the past they've received support from someone and people, but sometimes it felt like the other person was like they're like telling the person on your mind that they're there for them and like that they want to support them. But it's like you don't even like tell them that's what you're doing. You just like are present, and it takes some of the pressure off, and it just allows that support to flow so much more naturally and like in a way that's way more effective and like actually supporting this person and just like they trust that you're there for them, and not because you are like telling them that you're there or that you feel obligated to be there or anything like that. It's like you genuinely are present because you want to be, and you're genuinely listening because you're curious, and you're genuinely like expressing because you want to. You know what I mean? It's just like all feels very genuine and earnest, and they really treasure the support you've offered them. And I feel like with Consider Your Foundation, I feel like they feel a very strong, like, I don't know if they would word it this way, but like soul family connection to you. Like, it feels like it's gonna be different for everyone, like what space this connection is in currently, but it feels like no matter what, it's like y'all are infinitely there for each other, even if it's in like a more energetic spiritual sense of just like, for example, if this is like y'all are no longer in each other's lives, is like, but y'all both feel like energetically the connection that y'all share and created is like one of unconditional love, and like it's forever a space that they can tap into and feel a sense of love and like soul family bond. Like, it feels really deep and it feels really genuine and eternal. Like, I think like this could even be someone like y'all have been in connection for multiple lifetimes, and it's like, it's that deep and that's just like integrated into them. I'm gonna get a concluding card with the messages from the Ancestors Oracle deck, and yeah, let's see what the concluding message is. What is the concluding message for pile number 3 regarding how they've affected the person on their mind? That's crazy. This was the concluding card for pile number 2. So maybe there could be something for you in pile number 2 as well. But we got air, breath. I feel like you are such a breath of fresh air for this person. I know there's like a different message here from pile 2 though, because there is a lot of difference in the energy as well. I feel like I'm really being drawn to like this spiral energy and all the like cosmic energy. It does feel very connected to what I was just describing of like, there's this eternal bond and connection between the two of y'all that is like very cosmic, and it feels like something that they always like how I said, this is something they can tap into and channel whenever, even like when they're not with you. It's like because they experienced this connection and this depth of unconditional love, it's something that is like forever a resource for them, and I feel like they have so much gratitude for that. And I'm getting that like the love that y'all unlocked together, it's almost like it is connected to source and like the self-love and the connection to all that they are now able to fully like experience and feel whenever they need to call upon it. And it was like initiated from their love for you. Like, I feel like prior to meeting you, they weren't connected to that connection to source like they are now, and it's something that they can feel so tangibly, and they've learned to call upon it when they're in spaces of fear and self-doubt and insecurity. And I think that's become such a powerful resource for them, and I think they very actively contribute that to you. All right, that's what I got for you, pile number 3. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Also, please let me know in the comments, do y'all like the rain sounds in the background, or is it distracting, or like what are the vibes? And then if you have a specific question or theme that you'd like to see a pick a card reading about, please feel free to comment that down below. All right, peace out, y'all.